Now, currently with prospects in Argentina and Canada, Plato Gold is a junior exploration company and it's listed on the Toronto Venture Exchange. And we're talking now to the Chief Executive, the founder and president as well of Plato Gold, Anthony Cohen. Anthony, it's good to talk to you. You've got a story to tell. You're here in London
Yes.
broadcasting that story. I'd like, if I can, though, to start in Santa Cruz in
Sure.
Argentina, because that seems to me to be the hot property.
Sure. Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here, Jeremy. Yes, I picked up the property in Argentina back in early 2007, and it was a real greenfields property. No one, to our knowledge, had done any work on this property. And it was interesting because they're neighbors with producing silver and gold mines in the area. Companies that people are very familiar with, such as Pan American Silver, Coeur d'Alene Silver, and others, as well as some very active exploration projects very close by. So we picked it up. We've done 3 prospecting missions of about 2 weeks apiece. We've sampled lots of outcrop and soil, done geochem samples. We've come up with some very interesting anomalies. And we recently, just a few days ago, completed a private placement. And so we've got some cash to do some further exploration, and the next phase is we plan on hiring an IP mag survey company to generate some drill targets and then follow that up with some drilling this year in 2011. So we're very excited.
What sort of course, clearly the excitement comes, as you say, from the neighbours they're producing
Yes.
already. But what are your methods here, and what are the costs of this going to be?
Well, the early part, of course, the prospecting is fairly low cost. I would say the next phase, which we're doing now, the IP and mag survey, you're probably in the neighborhood of $200,000 or $300,000 or so. And of course, as almost always, the larger cost is the drilling once you secure the drill rigs and start to drill. So we will be raising the money for drilling at a later date once we have generated the drill targets.
When are you going to get assays out of this?
Well, the assays we really won't get from the drilling until we begin drilling, which would be later on this year. We do have assays from the surface samples that we took, and as I mentioned, we have some very interesting geochem anomalies. So the IP and the mag work will follow up on those, and as I say, it'll generate some drilling targets, and then of course we'll be supplying the assay labs with core samples from our drilling.
In addition to that property, you're also operating in, as I said, in Canada.
Yes.
And in Ontario, it's another gold project, isn't it? The
Yes.
Timmins field. Now,
That's
there's been
correct.
some developments on this. How important is that field, first of all, to Plato?
Well, it's quite important because what we've done is we've done some preliminary work and some drilling on 2 of the properties. We've got a total of 5 properties there. 2 of them we've worked. We've generated reasonable results, but I felt we never got any credit for these properties in our stock market valuation. So
Why is that? What's going on there?
Well, our drill results were okay, but they weren't earth-shattering. And it seems the type of market that we're in, people want great results very quickly, and we did not generate those. And you know, this is exploration, of course, is a business that takes a lot of time. Unless you're very fortunate and put down a hole with tremendous results, more likely it's something that takes years and years to build on. So you know, we've built up a lot of knowledge in the area, but we weren't getting credit for it. So I did what I think was the obvious thing. I approached St. Andrew Goldfields, who are about a $500 million market capitalization Canadian mining company, very well-run company. They run 3 gold mines in the region in close proximity to us. In fact, one of our properties, you could throw a baseball and hit the gate to their Hislop mine. It's just across the road from one of our properties. So I approached them, and they were interested, and we wound up signing in November an option agreement where they pay us some cash, they expend a set amount of dollars into a drill exploration program, and at the end of all that, if they earn their option, they will have 75% of the project and will retain a 25% ownership of the project. They're an excellent, well-run company. If they have results that we're hoping for, then we'll still own 25% of that, and if they find something really good, really big, we'll own a significant piece of it. So I think that'll add a lot of value for our shareholders.
I was going to say in Quebec, you're actually,
Yes.
There's a diamond mine or diamond drilling, isn't there?
We're diamond drilling in Quebec, but for gold. We actually have a gold deposit in Quebec, and it's NI 43-101 compliant, which if some of your viewers aren't familiar with the term, basically it's a policy that came in about 2000 or 2001, and it basically tells operators from day one how to proceed in terms of developing a mine of any type. And it was brought in after the famous scandals of the 1990s when there were a lot of problems. And to the regulators and authorities' credit, since NI 43-101 was brought in, there's been a real dearth of major scams and problems in the industry. So it's been good.
How much of what you're doing is because the gold price is as high as it is, and how much of it is really because there is the potential there at not whatever the price, but I mean,
well, the gold price, of course, really helps because it makes deposits economic or more economic that weren't at significantly lower prices. So the other thing that really should be emphasized with our company is in Val-d'Or, Quebec, Timmins, Ontario, and in Santa Cruz, where we are close to infrastructure. We're in very good, low-cost places to operate, as opposed to some other camps which are high up in the mountains or high up in the Arctic, and there aren't roads or railways or labor forces, or you have to move equipment by helicopter. We're in places where you can drive off a provincial road right up to the drill site. So, and of course you have a labor force and all kinds of infrastructure. So we're very well located. And I should also add, especially for some of your European viewers, in Quebec, for every dollar we invest in the ground exploring, we get up to 42 cents back from the provincial government in the form of a rebate, an actual deposit in our bank account. So that also takes away part of the risk. And we have nearly 200,000 ounces on one of our properties in Quebec. And we're drilling this year in 2011 to hopefully increase the size of that resource. And if we're fortunate enough to get that resource up to 500,000, a million ounces plus, then obviously at $1,300 or $1,400 gold, we have quite a significant resource in the ground. And again, it's located in a place that's relatively easy to operate in compared to other places, and there's a real mining culture also in Quebec.
You've taken a number of joint ventures and agreements and so forth.
Yes.
Is this all part of an exit strategy? You're not going to produce, are you?
Our goal is to create economic value in the ground, and then hopefully, as we did in Ontario with St. Andrew, joint venture or partner or option properties to larger companies that are operating gold mines in the area. I should also add that we have a huge land position in Quebec, and we were approached in November of 2010 by an aggressive gold exploration company by the name of 3 Gold, and they approached us on some options that on some claims that we hadn't worked. So we optioned those claims off to them in exchange for cash, a commitment by them to spend a certain amount of money to explore, and in the end, if they're successful with that, they'll own 75% and we'll own 25%. So we're building up a portfolio of properties as well as the deposit that we've got in Quebec, and of course the tremendous blue sky potential in Argentina, which I'm looking very forward to drill when we have the data to back up our drill program.
Certainly a very exciting area. Look, Anthony, thanks indeed for joining us. Anthony Cohen, the Chief Executive, Founder and President of Plato Gold.